Hi everybody! So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to have a productive summer. I know personally it's really easy to kind of goof off in the summer when the weather's so nice and the burnout is hitting from college or school and you really just want to take a break. But I also know that we all have these really cool plans of all the projects or internships that we want to do and work on, and all these things that we want to achieve and keep practicing and improving ourselves over the summer. It's a pretty simple four-step process that allows you to kind of work on different areas and different goals in a way that lets you still have time for yourself over the summer. All right, let's get into it. So the first stage is the collection phase. The collection phase is all about gathering all these tasks and goals that you want to achieve and complete. There's two main parts. The first part is to find any long-term goal, such as a job or internship, a research position. It could be something like taking a course online or at a local university or college. Anything that people are holding you accountable for, or anything that you kind of paid for, or you have deadlines that you need to achieve. Because it's really easy over the summer to get burnt out, but making sure that you have someone keeping you accountable will help you achieve these goals, especially for something long term. And this kind of structures the rest of your summer. The second part of the collection phase is to collect any random tasks, events, goals, habits, whatever you want to do over the summer, no matter how impossible it feels, no matter how big of a project, no matter how infeasible or how insignificant it might be. So it could be something as small as, oh, I want to update my LinkedIn, or I want to work on my health. So those are two totally different types of goals, but they can all be put into the same category. So just collect all these little things. So personally, just to give you guys kind of examples of what I actually did and how I implemented this process. Geez, I can't talk today. So for the long-term goals, I looked for an internship, which I started over the winter break. And then for the collection phase, I put down everything from updating my website, my LinkedIn, to just a note on I want to buy a bullet journal for next year, and also things like I want to work on improving my tech skills. So I put a bunch of things that I wanted to do, like hackathons or other tech events. So I just put down all sorts of random things. I had a really long list. Awesome, so that's pretty much all there is for the first phase. It's better to start working on this before the summer. Yes, definitely start working on it before the summer, but it's okay to take like the first few days of your summer and just word vomit all the things that you want to achieve. Okay, so the second part is the condense and expand stage. So I recommend personally, before you do this stage, take a few days off and really just do nothing. Enjoy your summer, because burnout is really real, and it's good to have a few days off to recover before you start being more productive, because that'll just help your productivity in the long run anyways. Okay, so the condense and expand stage. This is all about kind of creating action items for all your goals in a way that'll help you facilitate their completion. So it's a really important stage. So the way that you condense and expand is following that order. First, you condense. So what that means is you take all these different things that you've just collected in the collection phase, and you find common threads through them. So for example, if you have or at least in my example, I had the tech things that I wanted to do. So I've lumped these all under tech because they're things like I want to do more LinkedIn learning courses. I want to do HackerRank. I want to do at least one HackerRank activity a week, and I want to do 2 hackathons over the summer. So I've condensed these all under a category called tech, and you want to do this with everything. So for me, after I've finished the condensing stage, I've come up with a few main categories. So I actually have a lot, because I have a lot that I want to work on, but I've also been working on this process for a while, so I know how it works for me. So I have things like I want to do jobs, like a category called jobs and finances, self-improvement, miscellaneous, health, tech, and creative/YouTube, which is my final category. So these are all the different areas of my life that I want to work on, and I've kind of grouped all the things from before under these categories. And the second part of condense and expand is the expansion stage, of course. So what you want to do for expansion is depending on what it is. So if it's a job or a research position, or some sort of course, you want to put down your start and end dates, your title, at least for a job, who you're working for. You want to put down your payment/salary and any additional notes that might be helpful for you to have long term so that you can remember and have these for things like tax documents. For any type of abstract goal, you want to expand abstract goals by creating tangible action items and by creating numerical or some sort of trackable figures for these. So for example, if it's something like I want to get healthier, well, you might want to put down a goal weight or create a workout schedule or create like a diet plan, something that you can actually achieve. The main issue is you don't want to have anything that's abstract and left open to interpretation because that's a lot harder to put into practice. So for any abstract goals, break them down that way. And then the third and final part is for any smaller tasks, you want to just expand them and make them in a way that you can kind of really achieve all those tasks. So what I mean by that is, for example, one of my tasks is I want to read more books. And so instead of just putting down read more books, I put down specifically I want to read more nonfiction books. So I put down I want to read 2 Malcolm Gladwell books. I want to read the Flow book, I think by, I don't know how to say his name, but I'll probably make a video on it soon. And I want to also read the Alex Rider series, which isn't nonfiction, but it's something I've been meaning to get to for a while. So I've very clearly specified which books I want to read, which makes it easier for me to read those books. And so yeah, once you've collected everything under these umbrella items and you've expanded them so that you can reach these tangible goals that you can track, you can then move on to the next stage. You can see here that back in April I started planning. I've covered up some stuff for privacy reasons, but you can see that this is my collect and expand stage where I've collected everything under the proper titles. The third stage is itemization. So itemization is all about converting what you just did from collect and expand into schedulable, that sounds really weird, but into things that can be scheduled. So I recommend, this isn't an absolutely necessary step, but I definitely recommend it, especially if you have a lot of tasks like I do. And also, I would say do this on a separate sheet of paper. You don't want to overwrite, like if you did this on a Google Docs, you don't want to overwrite it because you want to still have, you want to have like this dual view of seeing things as categories and as like a timeline or schedule. And having an itemization, doing this step lets you create this easy to look at and easy to kind of be productive with a timeline. So yeah, the way that you approach this step is first you want to collect all your one and done items. So these are things that once you do it once or maybe twice over the summer, that's all you have to do. So for me, it's things like update my website. I only have to do that once. Or updating my LinkedIn, I have to do that once as well. Or I want to go to the museum. I want to, like, my goal is to go to the museum at least once over the summer. So you want to take all of these one and done items and collect them into a checklist. Checklists are a very good way of making sure that you get stuff done because it's kind of like a never ending, or at least in my case, a very long list of things that you can do fairly easily usually because they're only one and done. So they're done either a day or maybe 2 days, 3 days max. The next task is to then collect your schedule, like your weekly, monthly, and daily scheduled items. So what you want to do is collect them by how often you need to do them. So take all your things that are done daily. So something like you want to go for a walk every day and you want to read at least 10 pages of a book every day. So you put these under the same daily categories. And then things you want to get done at least once a week. So for me, it's like I want to do 1 LinkedIn Learning course a week and I want to do 1 lunch club meeting a week. So that's under my weekly category. And then I have the same thing for monthly. So you want to condense these by how often you need to do them. And this lets you plan out your weekly schedule because you know how often you have to check in with each of these items to get to these bigger goals, if that makes sense. Another part of the itemization section is when you have any of your long-term goals, so things like jobs and research and courses, you want to kind of put what you want to get out of it. So things like your ambitions, your goals, your long-term impacts of like working at this internship. Do you want to, is your goal to, I guess, make friends and bond with your coworkers? Is it to learn something that you wouldn't learn in the classroom? Because those are my personal goals for working at my internship. So making sure that you clearly define these, because these will help you these will help guide you along your way as you go through the summer, because you already clearly defined what you want to get out of these experiences. So that's pretty much all it for the itemization phase. It's just a way for you to convert everything that you collected and expanded into more, I guess, easy to work on parts, if that makes sense. In this stage here, you can see that I have my itemization phase. So these are all my checklists. These are my general goals, end of summer things. These are my weekly cycles, and this is my job takeaways here. These are the three main stages, and they all happen before you really get into the swing of your summer. So maybe the first few days after you finish your classes. And the final stage, which I call the recap stage, happens at the end of your summer, and it is, of course, a recap. So in the recap stage, you want to go through these like checklists and kind of documents that you've made, and you want to see how much of it you completed. So remember back in the beginning of the collection phase when I said that you want to put down as much as you can without worrying about feasibility? Well, that's where this comes in. The goal wasn't to finish 100% of everything, and if you did it right, then you probably just didn't end up finishing all of the stuff that you planned to over the summer. But that's a good thing. You want to aim for around 70% of your items. This shows that you're still achieving a lot, because 70% is a pretty good amount of things to do, especially if they're really comprehensive. But also it shows that you're pushing yourself because you have a lot more plans than you can actually complete, because you still want to make sure that you're kind of getting rest and everything like that. So 70% is a good number to aim for in this regard. And with that, I leave you with one final piece of advice. Make sure to always take breaks and to get enough and proper rest as you need. Because it's hard to be productive without getting the right amount of sleep, without taking breaks to just enjoy your summer. You are, after all, having summer break. You're not working, at least I hope you're not kind of working at the same level or intensity that you are during the school year. And so it's important to make sure that you take this time to meet with your friends and hang out with them, or to just take a day off and do nothing and kind of let your brain relax and rejuvenate. And so with that, I wish you all the best of luck over the summer, and I hope you have a great time, and I hope that you are all really productive. Let me know in the comments down below if this method worked for you, or if there's any changes that you made that worked better for you. And like and subscribe if you want more content similar to this. So yeah, thank you!